This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus has movies. So many movies. The movies you've seen 1,000 times and could watch 1,000 more. Iconic movies your friends can't believe you haven't seen. New movies, classic movies, new takes on classic movies. So whether you're into Top Gun or The Naked Gun, Mean Girls or Mission Impossible, Smurfs or Sonic the Hedgehog, there's a mountain of movies to discover on Paramount Plus. Start streaming today.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana makes car selling fast and easy from start to finish. Enter your license plate or VIN and get a real offer in seconds, down to the penny. If you accept, Carvana will come pick up your car from your driveway. Or you can drop it off at one of our car vending machines. Either way, you get paid instantly. It's fast, transparent, and 100% online. Car selling that saves your time. That's Carvana.
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Christian Moore back to Jack Goodchild on the blue line. He manages to get it wide to Jacob Minter. Goodchild with the shot, and the Slough Jets are taking the lead on the power play with 23 seconds remaining. And Jack Goodchild is Kane Russell with the shot cross goal. No need for the save from Lorne. And Campbell finds himself in. And it's 3-1 to the Johnson Chieftains. They have hit back quickly. Hello and welcome to Zero Pucks Given, the UK Ice Hockey Podcast, hosted by me, Ben Hyde.
And me, Caitlin Norpiner.
How you doing, Caitlin? You right?
Yeah, I'm alright. How are you?
I'm good. I feel a bit louder this week. I know last week I think I was being a bit quiet, sat in that bar.
Whispering in that little pub.
Yeah, again, I have my AirPods in as well. So apologies for the sound quality if it wasn't as good as it normally is, because we've got all the gear here. All the gear, no idea. So we had a relatively busy weekend in the Britain Division. 4 games, should have been 5.
Yes.
We'll touch very briefly on why that game didn't go ahead at Ice in Gosport. I'm sure everyone's seen the pictures that were sent to Nicky Watt by, I'm not sure who by, but the state of the ice at Gosport wasn't suitable, was it?
No, that was awful. Honestly, that is some of like the worst. And to think, they said they reserved it. How have they done that and completely missed the whole corner out, really? Like, you could see the concrete.
No,
you wouldn't be able to sit on that.
The picture they shared sort of showed centre ice, where there was 2 lovely new Solent logos under the ice, which, is always good to see at any rink. You want to see the team's logo on the ice. But the corners and the edges there have always been notoriously quite poor. If you look along the boards, it's not flat. It's always got a bit of a wave. The Zamboni can't quite get in the corner because of the size of the rink, so they manually do it. But I'm afraid Planet Ice, that is just been on sheer negligence.
That is just not good enough. And it's not the only Planet Ice rink that have had faults this weekend gone.
No, that was terrible, wasn't it? 45 minutes before. Subway were there. Fans were there.
Honestly, it's disgusting. Especially the fact that you are playing a team that are travelling so far. You would make sure everything is perfect. You would make sure that, cancelling would not be happening. And then they get told 45 minutes before they arrive, and Subway fans were there. Awful.
Yeah, I think it's an absolute shocker. They've not had... Yeah. And to be fair, this is probably something they're used to, because every time something goes wrong with a Planet Ice rink, it's never just one case. It's like buses.
Yeah.
When a problem comes along the Planet Ice rink, straight away comes another one.
Honestly, Planet Ice just...
Yeah, at the end of our roundup, we will hear from Alex Murray. He's given some thoughts on their Sunday night trip to Cardiff. He may well touch on the Planet Ice situation. I know that they had a meeting earlier this week to discuss what was going on down there. Hopefully, they'll get their Halloween game done.
Hopefully.
And hopefully the ice is in much better condition.
Yeah.
Those photos revealed it. And elsewhere, kind of this weekend, or it may have even been the weekend before, players have gone disappointingly loopy.
Are we playing ice hockey still, or like what's going on? Why are people why are players doing this?
Yeah, I mean, this is a dangerous game anyway.
Yeah.
But when you've got petulant children, and Jay Lucas is 22, but I'm going to classify him as a petulant child.
Yeah.
Behaving like that. I mean, there's another side to it which is just as worrying from the point of view of hockey fans like us, that no player from the opposing team dropped gloves and sorted him out.
How's no one done that? Because if that happened, and it was Solway he was playing, wasn't it? It was Solway too, right? His
SNL, so yeah.
Yeah, Solway too. So and there was like a few of like the Solway players just standing around, and they just sort of like looked like, how are you not just going in for him? Because that is honestly, it's one of the most disgusting things I've seen in hockey for such a long time.
Well, one of the things that came out after it, I think it was on a Whitley fan group page.
Yeah.
A very long statement from his mum, which, we all understand. I'm a parent. We all understand, when your kids happens and you want to say something. She's done him no favours whatsoever. What it looks to me like, looking at the challenge, the excuse of, they were being rough, this was being rough. This is a problem, and I'm present company accepted, because you're in college, you're a nice young girl, you're working hard to get where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
This generation of kids, 16 to 24,
mm-hmm.
on the whole, I'll probably include my daughter in this as well, have absolutely no cohesion or understanding that your actions have consequences.
Consequences, yeah. I'll agree.
You have to be prepared to deal with the consequences of how you behave. And if you behave like that on an ice rink in a hockey game, you should be getting flattened.
100%. How no one has actually just done the exact same to him, I don't know. Because when you see that and you just, I don't play hockey, I can't even ice skate, but if that happened to my teammate, you would just lose it in this situation, Jay Lucas, you would lose it with him. You'd absolutely flatten him.
And, I mean, similar to going back to, the Huskies and Phantoms.
Yeah.
Why didn't anyone on his own team say, come on?
What are you doing? Yeah.
You've slashed him, but then you cross-checked him to the back of the head, where, in all honesty, he hit the floor like a rag doll. From what I understand, he's okay. His name escapes me at the moment, but... Yeah, you cross-checking someone in the back of the head is
it's like neck area as well.
Yeah, it's the dickest of dick moves. There's serious implications can happen.
And, also the fact of he's done it with serious intent. No matter whether he regrets it or not, he's still done it with intent to harm him. Like, genuinely, what is the need? Nothing that's ever said to someone is that deep. You don't need to be doing that. It's ridiculous. And like you said, his mum did him no favours. And I remember reading one of the comments on, I think it was Nikki Watt's post, about how if you switch it the other way, the player that I don't know his name either, player who had that done to him, his mum, why hasn't his mum come out and said, I don't agree with my son being attacked, pretty much, on ice?
Yeah, I don't people calling for police involvement and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's like, especially exactly like the Husky situation. On ice is completely different to what would happen off ice. That don't need to be involved. But there was no need for his mum to come out and write that massive statement.
I think, in all honesty, if the incident itself didn't do it, she has made him untouchable.
Yeah.
I can't imagine any team will
want him now.
Not with that. Not one with that kind of behaviour, and two with that kind of, as I say, if you're not accountable for your own actions at 22, you need to fucking sort yourself out, boy.
Grow up, actually grow up, and that's coming from an 18-year-old. Why? It's not that. It's just the fact of how she's worded the statement as well. Like, he regrets it. Well, if he regrets it that much, come out and say you regret it, apologise, make a statement, either through yourself or through your club. You can easily, as a player, just say, look, can I write a statement? Like, just like you said, grow up.
It'd have got a little bit more respect, I think, from a personal statement, either, as you say, through himself or through the club, would have gained a little bit more respect. I would like to think that words were said on the evening, maybe between the coaches, and maybe they made them talk it out after the game. I'd like to think that was the minimum that happened, but we will never know. There was, of course, a bonkers one as well in the NIHL 2 up north, a Billingham Buccaneers player at the face of another player. It's, again, same line. Grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Grown men.
What are you doing? Like, what?
In the game you love, but you've got a weapon in your hand. Don't be a prick about it.
Exactly. It's there to control a puck and, like, shoot. Don't go hitting people in the head with it. Like, why is there so much of that? It's ridiculous.
Most of us love the physicality of the sport, and we never want to see it go out of it. And it plays into. I was speaking earlier in the week with Tom Carlon. It kind of plays into when Cliff came on the podcast a couple of years ago, and we spoke about this a few weeks ago as well, that he thinks that this level was players have become far too comfortable with doing this shit and not being, they're chatting shit and not getting
banged. Yeah.
They've become too comfortable with that. So that's the danger about trying to push fighting out of the game, because you're then going to get these people that are going to do these ridiculously stupid acts with no reprisal whatsoever. So then there's absolutely nothing to stop them from doing it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, how no one's reacted, and I think it's in both situations, the Jay Lucas situation and the Billingham one, no one went after the guy, the people who did the action. No one's gone after them. So they're thinking, oh, I can go with that, doing it again. I'm not going to get hurt. So, that, like you said, fighting needs to be a part of the game. This doesn't. This is ridiculous. There's a line. They've crossed it.
100%. 100%. So the mad disciplinary stuff we'll leave there. The next bit before we get to the Britain division is a bit of a hands up moment from me, actually. A couple of weeks ago we mentioned that a Solent Amazon player had been ejected from the Solent Amazons of the league on part of the gender act that came out from England Ice Hockey and Ice Hockey UK last year. And then it came out this week that player was Chantel Eyre. Now, people that have been listening to ZBG for a long time, back from when it was just me and then back from the start, Chantel's been on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. She
reached out to me when she was at the Solent Amazon. She was doing quite well. She wanted to come on. I had absolutely no idea that Chantel was a trans player.
Mm-hmm.
I have a clue. It wasn't brought up in either our off-air chat or our on-air chat or any time after. I'd shared good goals that she'd scored that she'd sent me. She then moved to Streatham, played in the Elite League, so she's clearly a very good player. My hands up, I had absolutely no idea that she was a trans player. So I'd said that we were speaking a little bit off air. It's kind of thrown my view on everything kind of up into the air. I commented on the post on Hockey Freaks, which I had to educate myself. They were talking about dead naming. I didn't know what that was. I had to look up what that meant. Chantel's social media has been cleared, which is a real shame, because there's no need, I don't think, for this witch hunt. It's, like I said, I just feel a little bit all over the place about it, because it's actually come as quite a shock.
Like the whole social media thing, I really do feel for her, because she's clearly, this is really like mentally draining for her, and it's clearly really tough as well. Like, she's playing a sport she loves, and then obviously getting that taken away. Like, it's tough no matter what circumstances. So I do feel for her in that sense.
But then I think we have to go into, we spoke about this off air, because I wanted to stop before we brought this up, that we were both on the same page.
Yeah.
Because as much as, everyone loves a bit of controversy and, people to co-host disagreeing, it's always good fun. But with something that is this serious, that has caused an awful lot of uproar over the past sort of, 10 months since it came out, women's hockey is for women. And 14-year-old girls are able to play senior women's hockey.
Yeah.
So not only have you got potential safeguarding issues with girls of a certain age, where everybody that's either playing, coaching or whatever should be taking a DBS check to ensure that safeguarding is all taken care of. But as we've said, and as I've discussed with other guests off air, and I'm sure we'll discuss it at a later time with people who perhaps oppose our views to the gender policy, that what is it going to take? Do you want a man who is identifying as a woman to run a 14-year-old girl into the boards and potentially kill her?
Yeah.
No.
Unfortunately, it's the physicality which is the issue. It's nothing to do with the transitioning. It's nothing to do with that. It genuinely is just the physicality.
Yeah, like I said off air, I mean, with all my massive ignorance to it, part of it is, for me, is ignorance is bliss, because it's not something that I kind of want to understand. I'm old school. I'm very black and white, and I haven't got tunnel vision. I'm open-minded to certain things.
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm massively on board with. So, fair play to Chantel, because she made a decision and she's done that for her life, that's fantastic. I actually have people in my life who have also made that decision, and I completely understand that they've chosen to do that. But as far as sport is concerned, women in this country that are our top level GB international players, they are competent, they are fit enough, they are strong enough, and they are willing to play men's hockey.
Yes.
So they do. It can't work the other way.
It just can't. And this is coming from me, 18, like in a generation where a lot of this is still a very controversial topic, but I feel like the younger generations are more willing to accept sort of like these ideas. But this, when it comes to sport, it's just a line that not that it's being crossed, because they've obviously said you can't do it, but you can't do it, just physicality reasons. Like I've said, it's really tough to talk about, because obviously it's a really like weird situation to be in for like players and fans watching, but it's the fact of physically, if you're a transgender woman, you still have the physicality of a man, and then like you said, running a 14-year-old girl into the boards, it's just not fair. No, it's actually unsafe. Like, it's just unsafe.
I think that's where the original thing came from, was a parent of a 14-year-old player who is good enough to be playing hockey, then saying, well, she's not worked this hard to play this level of hockey at 14 to play against a man. That's not her choice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I say, it's a touchy subject. We've touched on it because Chantel has been on the podcast.
Yeah.
We've spoken, across the years. If she needs help or she's struggling with anything, she's more than welcome to reach out. I will always be a pair of ears. I will probably not give advice because it's not something I understand a great deal about.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't like seeing the fact that her social media had been emptied. I don't want to see a witch hunt. Now I know what it is. I don't agree with the dead naming either.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was until you said off air. There's no need for that. That's not fair for Chantel.
But then, see, the flip side of this, which I don't think people really understood when the policy came out, it's been dealt with. Do you know what I mean? It was reported and it's been dealt with very quick. Yeah. Yes, obviously all this stuff has come out on social media, which has made it a little bit more controversial. But without the gender policy in place, who knows what could have happened?
Exactly.
Policy has it has worked for this instant.
Yes.
And yeah, congratulations to everybody involved in making those decisions very quickly and doing that and trying to not prolong it and create issues for players on either side of the partition, I suppose.
Yeah, the sort of like, not debate, but the debate of it.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, there's it takes all sorts. You're a lot younger than me. Your outview might be a little bit different. I'm very the opposite of woke. I think I'm right at the other end of the spectrum. So and it takes all sorts, but
yeah, it's a really weird subject because you've got to take in so much to consider. There's so much to consider, but point blank, the physicality just overrides everything else, unfortunately.
So hopefully, I think we've covered that with a degree of class and and not misinformation. I think, do you know what I mean? We're not spreading misinformation. We're just reporting on what we've seen and giving our opinion because
our view on it.
We are technically involved, considering Chantel has been on the podcast before, but obviously as I said right at the beginning of this, I put my hands up. I had absolutely no idea. I can't say whether, if I did know at the time, whether it would have affected my, wanting her to come on the podcast, because at the time, there wasn't a ruling with anything like that, so I can't possibly say that.
Yeah, we'll never know anyways.
And if you do disagree or agree with what we've said on it, please let us know. If you think we've been insensitive to any point of it, then do please let us know. Because
and if we have been, we apologise. It's not what we're trying to do at all.
No, and as I said, with me being a different generation to you and being at the opposite end of woke, I don't mean to offend anybody with what I say.
Yeah.
So it's just how I see it. So
yeah.
But we'll leave that there, because that's
move on,
taken care of. So we'll leave the craziness of the bad disciplinary and into the policy, and actually get on to what happened in
the games.
We obviously had that game at Solent that didn't go ahead, unfortunately, which is a real shame, because we were both predicting that Solent versus Romford was going to be a bit of a ding-dong.
Yeah, and we literally, didn't we? We found out about 5 minutes after last week's pod was filmed that it wouldn't be going ahead, and I was just like...
Yeah, we filmed, we had a wee small break before Ross came on, because we did a double header last week, and then we forgot to mention it in the Ross Miller episode as well.
Yeah.
Game was off, so we put it out on the socials that it weren't going to be happening. So, but we'll start then on the Saturday night down at Planet Ice in Gillingham. Now, I think you said Invicta I didn't write down what we said, because we said we'd do
all I remember is you said it might go to overtime.
I said it might go to overtime.
Yeah, I remember that, because I sort of said, yeah, I can see that. But as I said last week when we sort of did our predictions, I thought with the weekend that Dynamo's had ahead, I thought they'd give it their all for this game, and with the score, they got what they needed.
They did, yeah. I mean, they took the lead quite early through Aaron Connolly on the power play. Five, but then obviously Cardiff looked like they dug in. Sort of said, look, you're not going to run away from us. You're not going to pull away early, and it took all the way until the 54th minute, and then the 7th to actually get the winning goals. Got to give a massive shout out. We didn't put out the stars of the week last week. I just didn't have time. It was absolute chaos. We'll do it again this week. And Nikolai Deval has probably put himself up there with a 33-shot shutout at home. Yeah,
insane. And as well with Fire, they're probably looking at this weekend thinking, right, we need to grab some points. We need to work our hardest, our best. And they did, and obviously Deval's said absolutely not.
Yeah. I think the thing with the Fire, particularly with they've kept a lot of the guys from last year, I think there's certain lines of theirs that tick, and they do tick really well. They're good on the power play. They press quite high, which I know that Shep really enjoys them. Working hard and working better with the puck, and I think that's always been one of Shep's complaints, is that sometimes they waste the puck when they
waste the puck. Yeah, it's sort of a thing that they've always struggled with. I think they'll have so many chances, but they'll never actually they lack that finishing touch.
Yeah, I mean last year they had it with Carter Daly, the Hong Kong international. Top young lad. Really, he scored some really good goals for them. But they seem to be, when they are scoring goals, obviously they didn't get past Nikolai on Saturday, but they are sort of spreading them around the roster.
Yes.
Start this year, which is nice to see. But yeah, 3 points in the league then for Invicta. We move on the Saturday to
a busy old game.
Well, busy old game for the refs.
Yeah.
Down the penalties.
Wow.
Coach's thoughts we'll get to on the second lot of the game. As far as Slough are concerned, because they don't have a game on the Sunday, we will start having a coach's thoughts of sorts from Smiths, but it will be me and him will have a small phone conversation about it. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks that'll all get up and running.
Yeah.
A busy guy. I'm a busy guy as well, so it's just about trying to find the right 5 minutes.
Right times, yeah.
This guy, to be fair, had I have gone, and I do love going to Slough, it's a great rink. After 7 minutes, I'd have been thinking, oh, fucking hell, here we go.
You would have been, wouldn't you?
Yeah, those early goals from Juha Lindgren and Carl Bradburn. By the way, I need to wait till their highlights come out. Carl Bradburn doesn't score crap goals.
No, he doesn't. They're always really good goals.
He did this thing. It was last year. He did it a lot the year before as well. He'd go down the right and he'd get almost to the goal line, and he'd just unleash this bullet up in the net.
Yeah.
Always terrific to see. I'll tell you what, I'll be aghast if we watch the highlights and it's exactly like that goal. Squeezed it past Brandon Stones from whatever angle, but then, I mean, a massive fight back from the Chieftains, but it's quite noticeable that it was an early penalty from Luke Smittle in the 4th minute.
Mm-hmm.
And 14-19, Tom Saw pulls the first goal back for the Chieftains. And then it just looks like Slough lose their heads. And Chieftains old man them.
Yeah. I mean, when you're looking at the difference of amount of penalties, that's why Chieftains won. Because soon as Slough lose their heads, that's it. What Chelmsford are doing, they've done exactly what they wanted to do, and now they're going to... So Slough have lost their heads, which is what Chelmsford wanted them to do. Now Chelmsford are going to go and score them goals, and they did that.
And ironically, only one of them was actually on a power play.
Yeah. It's the losing of the heads. That is exactly what you need to do.
And to be fair, that was Slough's enemy the year before they won the title.
Mm-hmm.
Was the amount of penalties they took, and not just the penalties, but who was taking them.
Yes.
It was Christian Moore, it was Seb Moore, it was Jack Goodchild, it was Luke Smittle, and they need these guys on the ice. Yeah.
Of course they do. It's a problem for a lot of like the top teams, like Chelmsford, Streatham, Slough, like them 3 teams. The best players are always the ones that get the penalties. That's where the issue lies.
Yeah.
But I mean, Slough, how many minutes did they have? 86 minutes.
Yeah, so 17 penalties in total. Luke Smittle was given 10 for abuse and then game misconduct.
Yeah, misconduct.
I think on the total of the night there was 44 minutes. 46 minutes of penalties for Luke Smittle across the game.
Yeah, and then Ollie Hemmings-Mayer near the very end got 25 for spearing.
Yeah, he got a 5+ game for spearing.
Yeah.
We're talking about earlier with disciplinary losing their heads. It's stick, it's for the puck. Don't do anything else with it.
Yeah, just don't be silly. And it's not even like they're losing heavily. It's just the fact of they're so used to winning now. I don't think they know how to react.
You know what? They were similar last year when obviously they started so well, and then, similar to the game that you're going to be headed to this week where they host Streatham. Yeah. I went to that game last year, and Slough were 2-0 up with 10 minutes to go, and then Streatham experienced 1-3-2.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think hopefully, as I said to Smits actually when we spoke in Sheffield, the idea of bringing in Alex Cole, Brandon Miles, Neil Lydiard, obviously massive amount of experience.
Yeah.
Having Harry Hatfield back in the side, bringing Marcus Mitchell in, they've got the experience there, and those guys can be there to take those penalties and let the young guys run off and fly free. But considering that's a Challenge Cup game and not a league game, 4-2 win for the Chieftains there with spreading the goals around as well. Tom Saw, Anna Lack, Dan Hitchens, Grant Bartlett.
Yeah.
Responding to Lindgren and Bradburn. That sets a marker now. But when they play again in the league, that sets a marker.
That's a good game. I want to go to that.
I am going to that, actually. I think it's November 2nd, I think, down at Chelmsford. I am going. Well,
if I can make the long old journey to Chelmsford, you may see me there.
You'll get a bit of a treat this Saturday because it's also a cup game that Slough are hosting Streatham this Saturday.
Yeah.
See the 40th anniversary cup jerseys that.
Yeah, I will. So hopefully it's a good game.
Yeah, hopefully. If they've got our one there already, you can pick it up.
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
But you've got to go on the ice, and it's got to be a whole ceremony and all that.
Oh. I hope I have to do that. It'll be practice for Sheffield at least. So we move on to the Sunday, where Chieftains are back in, and then playing Invicta at home, and they win 6-1.
League action. They've met in the Challenge Cup, like the second cup already, but yeah, in the league. And I mean, again, a good early start. From what I hear, again, I was really hoping to be there. I'm struggling so much with my times and getting to hockey that it was actually a little bit flat.
Really?
Yeah, I know that Invicta were quite short, which I don't know if was a lack of players or there was an incident at the Dartford Tunnel. I don't know if people got stuck on the Kent side. But, yeah, they were a little shorter than I was expecting them to be because, bearing in mind it was a league game as well.
Yeah.
I thought maybe Challenge Cup, Invicta are virtually out of that.
Out don't really matter, but the fact it's league, clearly there was some issues there.
But from what I do understand is Cliff has made some slight tweaks to the line 1 and line 3, which was put into practice on Saturday night, clearly worked, so it was continued to Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha Maltsev is now playing centre between the Bartletts on line 1.
Right, okay.
And Lack has dropped into line 3. And apparently the difference is just unbelievable. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it myself. So I might try and sneak to Invicta this Sunday because no school Monday because the half term's in. So I might just say, "Oh, we're going to hockey. Is it at home? Yeah."
You don't have a choice. Come on.
But yeah, I mean 6-1 in the end. It was kind of again, took till quite late. 3 goals in the third period.
Yeah.
The Bartlett's doing the majority of the damage. Cam Bartlett with particularly the 4th goal, I think it was an absolute screamer.
Was it?
One-timer from the left circle as it come across, lovely and low, through the 5 hole. It was cracking.
Yeah. See, that's what I like with Chelmsford is it's nice to see different scorers score because a lot of the time it is the Bartletts, which isn't an issue because at the end of the day, they're great players. And like I've said previously, they can play with each other with their eyes closed. They know exactly where they are and when, and that is why they are so good. Yeah,
it's looking at the influence of Sasha Maltsev on that top line.
Yeah, clearly.
He's littered around the assists, both primary and secondary. And I mean, he's such a terrific player. He's so good to watch. Quite a good, lack of penalties on here. Just the one power play goal, which was the 6th one.
Yeah.
After a Jacob Ranson delay of game penalty, but yeah, a fairly good night discipline-wise for the Chieftains, considering the night before in Slough.
Yeah.
A couple of penalties, and to be fair, with Lackey on the third line, and probably I'd imagine that Dervs is on that third line as well. That's what they're there for. Do that dirty work.
Get the 2 minutes.
Get the 2 minutes, and then we'll crack on and we'll get it done. So yeah, I think top stuff from all the guys. I can't wait to go and watch them again because I think where obviously they had such a slow start to the season, it didn't seem great. All they needed was that first sort of proper good game, which they had against Streatham, and I think now they're going to hit off the back. Yeah, it was almost like they had the first couple of games, and then they had that weekend off. And boom, they've been cooking on gas since. Yeah,
sometimes you just need that time off just to refresh and training for etc. They would have been able to train for the games for 2 weeks, not just one time. That's what you need, and well, it's clearly what they needed because they're coming out with great results now.
Yeah, so we should all be very scared of the Wildcats and the Redhawks when they come back this weekend.
Yeah,
they've had a good. But so following the 6-1 win against Invicta and the 4-2 win against Slough. Both goalies getting some time over the weekend as well, which is good to see. Stones and Mill, both having good games. Let's get the thoughts of Cliff.
Yeah, good weekend for us. Obviously, we played 1 Challenge Cup game, 1 league game, and 2 wins. So never going to be disappointed on a Monday morning with that record. On Saturday, we went over to Slough and first time we've seen them this season, and they got the jump on us early doors. We were 2-0 down really quite quickly in the game. I wouldn't say we weren't ready to play, but I think, we know what Slough are like. They're definitely the quickest team we play across the season, and with it being the first time we played them, I think it just caught us by surprise a little bit. Even though we knew what we were going to be dealing with, it was just a bit of an adjustment to get used to that again after quite some time. Not playing them. But yeah, they went 2-0 up and we got it back to 2-1 before the end of the first. And the game sort of changed going to the second period. I'm not sure really what sparked that, but there was a lot going on, as I'm sure anyone that was there will sort of testify to, but also anyone who's looked at the game sheet will be able to see quite clearly. And really, whilst there was too many penalties on our side, there, we did do a good job of maintaining our discipline compared to what was going on in the game. I've seen quite a lot of comments online, like on the Facebook groups and stuff, from Slough fans sort of criticising the ref. I'm not sure which of the penalties that they took that they didn't think were right, but I thought the ref had a tough job with the way the game was played in the second and third period, and I don't think he was inventing any penalties out there. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. That's my opinion. But yeah, we did sort of do a good job of fighting fires and maintaining our discipline. There was a heavy onslaught from them in the third period, which we were able to sort of keep batting away. Stonesy played his first full 60 for us in the pipes and did a great job, especially in that third period when, it was one-way traffic for a long time. But yeah, ultimately came away from there with 3 points in the Challenge Cup, 4-2 win, and moved on to Sunday. Sunday was a very different game. Invicta turned up quite short. They were shorter in the warm-up, but they added a couple of younger guys just before the game started. I think they had a junior game elsewhere. And obviously I know they played Cardiff the night before. We'd obviously played Slough the night before, and I think it was a little bit of a come down for us after sort of, quite an emotional night the night before and a big win for us to, tough to get ourselves going, I'd say. We ended up winning 6-1, which was nice, and 3 points, and we literally used everyone, and ice time was spread really about as evenly as it could be. Everyone played a full part. There was no sort of incidents of note in the game, sort of penalty or discipline wise. But yeah, it was nice to not have our A stuff, but still get the points and bank them. We're moving on now in the league a little bit. We didn't have the best of starts, but we've put a few games together in a row now, and we've got to continue that. This weekend we go back to Invicta to play them again in your away league game. So, we know it'll be very different in that building. We're not going in there expecting it to be a repeat just because you beat them 6-1 one week at home. It doesn't mean anything when you come to the away game the following week. So, yeah, it's going to be a good week for us this week. Building up to that, and then obviously a trip down there. To a tough building, and looking for the 3 points again. So, yeah, good weekend overall. Have to be happy with that, and we move on.
Yeah, I think he kind of covered what we were talking about there about the discipline in the Slough game.
Yeah.
And seeing all the boys getting some ice time on the Sunday was good as well for him.
Yeah, it is. He said exactly what I said earlier. Slow start to the season, but that they've come back, and this is exactly what Chelmsford fans would have wanted.
Yeah, like I said, they're cooking on gas now, and it's the return of Tom Saw, because Tom Saw was on holiday for a bit at the start of the season. He's slotted in beautifully.
Yeah.
So there looks to be a lot of chemistry, especially in the top three lines. I know the fans are really impressed with John Beldicos as well, which was not widely, but I think that was kind of mocked, that signing. And people were sort of looking at where he played in the States and saying, well, that's not a particularly great level.
Right, no.
States, every level over there is a good level.
Great. Better than what we're playing at now, so...
And I think he's been terrific since he's come in. And this is from me not being able to get to many games.
Many games, yeah. I mean, obviously, I've seen Chelmsford play once. Obviously, it weren't their greatest game, but I did sort of think, Beldicos. I'm sure that's one of their new signings. He's pretty good. From what I saw in that 60 minutes, and it weren't obviously the best, but it was someone that I sort of kept seeing. I kept seeing the back of his shirt. So yeah.
Yeah, John I think he was taking some face-offs, he was playing up at centre, I think, at some points on Sunday. I've seen the highlights of the game, but a good weekend for the Chieftains, and they'll go to Invicta on Sunday.
Yeah.
Week. So let's move on to the Vindico in Cardiff, the trip over the Severn Bridge for the Solent Devils, and this game seemed to spin on 12 seconds.
crazy. Like, when I saw, like, the stats, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Literally crazy. But you did call this, actually.
I thought that they might.
Yeah. I don't think you said they'd win. I think we both sort of agreed that a good game. We probably thought Solent would take it, but you did say about it last season at the Vindico being 2-1.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as well, actually.
Yeah, it's great for Fire. Absolutely great. Just to get your first points on the board, it's just a great feeling. So great for them, but like you said, the space of 12 seconds changes the game completely.
Yeah, obviously Liam Coleman put the Devils ahead 30 seconds into the third, and just 12 seconds later, Josh Paul levelled it up at 1-1, and that was all she wrote for the entire game. There was, a chance right towards the end. Solent took a bench penalty with 30 seconds to go in the game, which I could only imagine that the thought from the Fire in that 30 seconds was like, I bet that was terrific hockey to watch. And then right at the end of the overtime period as well. Shepherd took a delay of game penalty with literally 2 seconds to go.
2 seconds to go.
Any earlier than that, you give Solent Devils 10 seconds, Alex Murray's throwing 6 forwards on there and they're probably going to score.
Of course. But yeah, Josh Paul obviously being standout name for Cardiff this year. Standout name. He's how many goals has he scored now? I want to say 4 or 5.
I think it's 4, yeah. They're counting the shootout goal as well.
Shootout, yeah.
Come on, shoot out.
But yeah, it's sort of how you see it from a Solent point of view is they haven't had any ice. So obviously I don't know whether they're training. I'm guessing not. On the state of the ice, I don't know how you could train on that. But when you've not had any training and you're not playing any games, because this is their first game since, you're coming to a game with no idea. Because you've had how many weeks off? Yeah,
but they didn't play last weekend.
Yeah.
There's been literally a 14-day gap between games.
Yeah, with no training. And that can be really detrimental.
And I'm sure because as I said before, when we play these coaches' thoughts, we don't listen to these before. We listen to them come through live so that our reactions are genuine when they're done.
Genuine. You should see our reactions under the graphic.
I think the very first week I forgot to put Shep. So we did just have people sitting there looking at us listening.
Sure, that can be made into a meme.
Well, I did you dirty on a little meme last week, didn't I? But
I did it again earlier. I thought, let me just lower my hands.
In the middle of quite a serious conversation, so I didn't want to.
Yeah, I was like, let me lower them.
But yeah, so on the back of that shootout defeat for the Solent Devils, we'll see what Alex Murray had to say.
Hey, yeah, so strange week again for the Devils. In what's something that unprecedented for us really. Whilst there were some early signs of positivity of the ice and the paint going down, we were unable to get on the ice this week again. And we made the decision earlier in the week to postpone our game, given that Planet Ice weren't 100% confident that the ice would be ready. I think in hindsight that was a great decision, whilst it was disappointing. I think it was the right thing to do. I don't think it would have benefited anyone to drag that out. I think the last thing we wanted was a situation like Basingstoke had, where they were holding on to the last minute and unfortunate to let down 1,000 people. So I think on a much smaller scale for us, it was too much risk involved. And yeah, as you've probably seen from the pictures that are going around, the ice rink's still not ready into this week either. So fingers crossed. We've had a meeting with the Planet Ice hierarchy today. They've reassured us that the rink will be ready later this week. Probably not in time for us to train on Thursday, but for our game on the weekend. So it meant that our fixture against Romford didn't go ahead on Saturday, and so it was just a single head fixture against Cardiff away, where we've struggled at times over the last couple of years. And I was mindful of that. They played the night before, played well by the looks of it in Invicta, only losing 3-0, and we've only been on the ice once in the last 3 weeks for a game in Romford. So I was a little bit worried, and that worry sort of disappeared in the first. I think I couldn't believe the game was 0-0. I think the first period shot count was 22-2 in our favour. Scanlon had a great game, and we actually talked about him before the game. He stole them a game last year in their rink, and he did the same this year. Did the same on Sunday. For us to have 22 shots in a period and not to get out of their end, we had to put the puck in the goal. But we didn't, and into the second was similar. They came back a little bit in the second. I think they had a little bit more pressure, but again, we still were pretty dominant. I think their pressure came from penalties, which, if I'm being honest, I was disappointed with the refereeing tonight, on Sunday, sorry. I don't think a team could have the puck for 90% of the time and only get one power play in the last 2 minutes of the game. There were so many things that didn't go our way with that. But still, as I mentioned, I think regardless of the referee, we can't have 70 shots in a game and only score one goal, which came, early in the third, and we conceded within seconds of that, and that's a lack of discipline from some senior guys, including myself, on the ice at that time. So, 1-1, we get a penalty shot at the second to go into overtime. I'm not actually sure on the rule of the guy covering the puck in the last second of overtime, whether it's a penalty shot or a goal, I don't know, but we had a penalty shot anyway, which was missed. And again, Scanlon in goal for Cardiff with a great save, and that guy stood in his head. When you outshot a team 70-19, the goalie wins that game for them, hands down. They showed tremendous grit, the young kid with a good goal, and he's got his penalty shot through as well. And we were unable to score on the penalty shootout for the second time in 3 games. So, a bit of a problem for us. Not disappointed with the performance given our situation. I was disappointed with the team in terms of our clinical, killer instincts around the goal. But, we're in a bit of a strange situation with no ice. And fingers crossed for this weekend. And we really need to get back up and running. And we welcome Swindon, who are in a bit of rich vein of form. So, congratulations to Cardiff. Great win for them. Disappointing for us, but we move on and Swindon, hopefully for Saturday evening. Thanks.
Classy as always.
Yeah.
Mother. And I actually completely forgot about what you mentioned, that delay of game penalty from Ellis Shepherd gave Solent a penalty shot.
Oh, of course it did, didn't it?
Someone messaged me and asked me about the rule, and I said, actually, you know what? I don't know. I'm not going to. I don't know what the rule is. So that Solent had a penalty shot to win. Seconds left. That's like Mighty Ducks type shit.
Yeah, you've got to score it. But like Mother said,
on the penalties now for 3. Really, really poor.
And obviously, as well, with that, Scanlon is a great goalie. I mean, he's saved 68 shots all game.
The shot count is, as Alex
crazy.
There, the shot count is astonishing. 69-22 across the game, including overtime.
I know, that is crazy. That, like Mother said there, that is where a goalie is winning a game.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely 100%. So on the flip side of what Mother says, let's have a listen to what Shep had to say after his side took that shootout win.
The Fire faced 2 difficult opponents this weekend. The first being the Invicta Dynamos in their barn, and then Solent Devils back in the Ice Arena Wales, or the Vindico Arena. Starting off with Invicta, it was a very tight affair. 1-0 with 5 minutes to go. I thought we were perhaps unlucky to not sneak something. We're starting to generate a lot more opportunities, and real grade A opportunities as well. So maybe we can feel a little bit unlucky, but we didn't get something out of that game. But credit to Invicta, they put in a professional performance and came up clutch with within the final 5 minutes of the game to run out as 3-0 victors. I thought for 55 minutes we were fantastic. We matched them. But for 5 minutes, I think we maybe switched off or we cheated, and that's where Invicta punished us. So it's definitely a lot of positives to take from the game. Just frustrating that I thought maybe the results could have been slightly different. And then we travel home and play Solent on the Sunday. Last time Solent came to our barn, we beat them 2-1, and yeah, we knew that it was a game that Solent had started brightly in the league, taken a few scalps already. I know that they beat Chelmsford and they beat Swindon. I know that they lost to Invicta, so we knew that they were a very good team, and they came full strength as well. So we knew we had a battle on our hands. I thought at first we started a little bit slowly. We were okay in terms of defence, I think, and I just think we didn't get enough pucks to net. We had the zonal pressure, but yeah, we weren't shooting, and evidently you don't score without shooting the puck. So I thought maybe that's that little tweak going into the second. And it definitely worked. We definitely had some more chances in the second. Again, some real good grade A's. I thought our power play looked really good. We were unfortunate not to get one on the power play. And then third period, 2 quick goals. Solent struck first, and I think on the first shift, back into the third period. And then we struck on the second shift to make it 1-1 for the entirety of the third. We killed off a penalty with 2 minutes 30 to go, which was great from the boys as well. Real dig deep effort there. We started the OT with a power play, and Taylor in Solent net pulled off a worldie of a save. I remember holding my hands in my head because I thought we had won it there and then. Credit to him, it was a fantastic save. But then, not to be outdone, they get a penalty shot with 1.8 seconds left in overtime, and Scanlon stood tall in net as well. So it was definitely a battle of the goalies in that OT period, and yeah, nothing could separate us. Went into the shootout then, which is, it's a cruel mistress for either side to lose after giving their all for 65 minutes. And we had been there last season. We pushed a few teams to the shootout, and unfortunately we lost, but not yesterday. I was really happy with us coming away with a W, and our first W as well of the season, and our first W in the new Fire logo as well. So really happy with the results. I thought we played for the full 65 minutes. We matched their intensity. Again, we had some great looks as well at the net. If it wasn't for Taylor, we could have scored a few more goals as well. So yeah, really happy with the weekend. I just think we just need to learn to play for the full 60, and we'll start to turn the results around. I know that last week we played Chelmsford and we played well for 45 of the 60, and for the 15 we didn't play well. They punished us with 6 goals. So we just need to know that we need to play for the full 60 to get results in this league.
Spot on. Absolutely spot on. I think like you said, it's the whole thing of like the shooting and the finishing, that last bit of finishing, that is what they need to improve on, and they're doing that.
I mean, obviously they dug in to have that many shots against you, and Solent have that much of the puck. Dug in. Ben Scanlon, I think both goalies took man of the match in that game. Yeah,
it sounds like a match of the goalies, really.
It must have been a terrific game to watch with everything that had been going on, and then probably not what Cardiff want now, as they got a weekend off.
Yeah, they've sort of got on their feet for the first time this season, and now they've got a break.
Yeah. So going into the fixtures for next year, God.
Crikey!
Time's getting away. Next week. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Planet Ice Gosport is sorted, and we'll have 5 p.m. 5 p.m. League and Cup game, Solent Devils, Swindon Wildcats 2, on our little predictor league there. I'm going Swindon.
Yeah, I'm going to go Swindon. I think Solent, I think they're going to struggle because they haven't had ice. And
Swindon have now had 2 weeks of just...
2 weeks of pure focus on this game. But then you sort of look at it in a way of, what have they got to sort of watch from Solent? Because they can't pick up where Solent are going wrong, because Solent haven't played.
They've got the first game of the season where Solent won 6-1 at the Link.
Yeah. So they've got that to take from. But from their 2 weeks off, it's more Swindon are going to focus on how well they can play rather than point out or like try and take advantage of where Solent can't.
Yeah. And then you're going to the other game on Saturday.
Yes.
At the Hangar Slough Jets Red Hawks Challenge Cup.
I'm very excited for that. I'm not going to predict. I think you can't predict that game.
I'm saying it's going all the way.
All the way, yeah.
I don't know who's going to win, but I think you're going to have a long evening.
Hopefully. And fingers crossed, a fight. Every game I've been to, there has not been a fight, and I'm just waiting to see a good scrap. That's all I want to see.
Into the Sunday then, and a couple of league fixtures, as Cliff alluded to earlier. Chelmsford travelling to Invicta. 5:45 Planet Ice Gillingham. And Wildcats bouncing back with a double-header weekend. Now, this is a big game as well at the league.
Yeah, this is huge. This is where Romford are thinking this is one of the two teams we can take points off of.
But
I think Swindon will have it.
Like I think on paper, yeah, Romford are looking at Cardiff and Swindon and saying we need to take points from them. I think Swindon have jumped out of that gap already.
Yeah, I think just that, like I've said previously, with MK and Oxford not in the league anymore, the sort of bottom three are Romford, Cardiff, Swindon, but Swindon are progressing. They are jumping out of that. We're a bottom three club. Whether they'll finish, what would it be now, fifth? Whether they'll finish fifth or not, doesn't matter. They're playing like a top team.
They are indeed, and looking forward to that weekend. And then, of course, in the weekend following, I'm sure we'll have some lovely thoughts from Kenny as well, because he's normally
he's had a few weeks off.
Yeah, as I'll be hassling him on the Monday morning via WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Looking through.
Send me a 10-minute one over now.
Oh, she gets a long one. Thank you so much to the coaches that sent their thoughts in. Obviously, I know I have to get on at you, and it's not that you don't want to do it or you forget. It's just I'm constantly there like a woodpecker. And I've just realised looking through them as we were playing them there that Shep's got that really annoying thing on his WhatsApp where the ticks don't go blue. So
I bloody hate that thing.
Don't know if he's ready. It's annoying, Shep. Turn it off. But yeah, thanks for the coaches sending their thoughts in. Caitlin, thank you so much for your time.
Of course. Thank you, Ben, for your time.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Find the biggest voices in sport on the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Like the Fantasy Football Scout podcast. If you want to win at FPL and dominate your mini-leagues this season, then make sure you subscribe to the Fantasy Football Scout podcast. You'll get all the tips, stats, picks, and elite transfer knowledge from some of the very best in the game. Just search Fantasy Football Scout wherever you get your podcasts.
Sports Social Podcast Network.